Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another episode of Sharon's Home and Garden. So today I'm going to kind of explain how I keep sane during the winter months. We have a really long winter here. Excuse me. I live in southeastern Wisconsin near Milwaukee. So I am in zone 5B. And we have winter from the end of October until the beginning of May. And it isn't snowing the whole time, but it's too cold to be planting outside. And for a gardener, that's just too long to go without planting a garden. So I like to keep a garden inside, if you will. And I'll show you what I do in just a second. This is my grow room down in my basement. I've got a bunch of shelving here and here, and then there's more up here. And it's not set up right now for seed starting, but it's kind of set up for the winter. Over here, I have my hydroponic lettuce. Now I need to pick this, which is what I'm going to do today. And this is a hydroponic lettuce using the Kratky method. And the Kratky method is basically you don't have any kind of oxygen source in there. The plants get their oxygen because as the water level goes down, as the plants drink the water, there becomes an air gap in here. And that's where the plants get their oxygen from. So this lettuce does really, really well in this method. This is a 7-gallon container. To do this, you need to have an opaque container because the water can't see any light. And I get really good harvests out of this. And I will get 3 or 4 pickings out of this. The only problem I found, lately this lettuce is growing so fast that the leaves, here you can see, are getting a little burnt. And it is winter in Wisconsin, so the air is pretty dry. Even though I have a humidifier on my furnace, it's still dry for this lettuce. So I'm going to pick that today. The other thing I'm growing is tomatoes. Now these tomatoes are dwarf variety tomatoes. One is called Tiny Tim, and the other one is called Tumbling Tom. Now, I've got 8 tomato plants in here. And they're all doing pretty well. This is the Tiny Tim one, and this is the Tumbling Tom. So, I may have to transplant these into another container. And they aren't quite big enough yet to be producing flowers. But as soon as they produce flowers, I go in and I just shake them every day. Just shake them. And that's enough to pollinate the flowers, and then you will get fruit. Now I've got them under regular 4-foot shop lights. You can see here. This particular lamp, I put grow bulbs in it. And this one is just a regular fluorescent lamp. It's a daytime bulb. Up here, I've got a lemon tree, which he's not doing very well. I got to cut off these dead branches. We had some problems in the beginning of winter. It wasn't getting enough water, so I put his pot in another container so the water would drain right through, and this way it catches the water and you get a little bit of moisture evaporation here. What I could also do is put some stones in the bottom, put water, and set the pot on top of those, and that would provide hydration as well. I just haven't gotten around to it. And then over here is basil. This plant is dying, but this plant is doing okay. Again, they're both suffering from very dry conditions, but basil grows so fast that I have no problem just starting it over again to get fresh. I do have a couple of plants in here, and these are ones that were having a hard time upstairs. They weren't getting enough sun, they were dying, it was too dry, and so I brought them down here, and they are doing very well. I have this LED light above them. I tell you, this spider plant loves that LED light. It's just pumping out the babies. It's like all of a sudden, poof. And then over here in the other part of my basement, I just put this up. You see this? It's 48 inches wide, heavy duty shelving, and this is going to be in addition to my grow station. I have one other of these. I haven't put it together yet, but it will offer quite a bit. I'm starting some microgreens here. That's what's here. But I should be able to have 4 flats per shelf. That will be an awesome addition. The only hard part is finding the lights. And these particular lights are LED. And they will be very nice for these plants, and even for any seed starts that I do. But right now I don't need to have the lights on. So that is another way to do plant storage. These were on sale at Menards for $80, which is a really good deal. And I can show you. So this is what it is. It's called Muscle Rack. Muscle Rack. So it went together pretty easy. The only tool required was a mallet. So I have one more to put up. This will add so much more storage or growing room to my seed starting area. So I'm really happy about that. So even though this isn't very much and everything is not perfect, I don't want you to think just because, you know, you're going to have stuff in your house that it's going to be perfect. It's not. Everybody's going to have different growing conditions. Everybody is going to have different humidity conditions and warmth conditions. My basement happens to be fairly warm. I keep meaning to buy a thermometer or put a thermometer in here so I can see what the temperature is. I've got a little manual one in here someplace. This stuff keeps me sane during the winter time because I just want to get my hands in dirt. And I miss being able to work in the dirt and work in the soil and pick your plants and just harvest your vegetables. So I'm always trying something, whether it's lettuce or tomatoes or lemon tree or basil. I'm always trying something and trying to keep something going here. So let's pick this lettuce. As you can see, there's some damage to some of the leaves because they were hitting the lights. And those are just regular fluorescent lights. So I brought my kitchen scissors. It's clean. I run it through very hot water when I wash dishes. I don't run it through the dishwasher. But typically you can just use your hands to harvest this. And what I do is come at it from the outside. And I just pick off leaves. And I'll go through anything that isn't edible, like this is not edible. This is. This will go in the compost pile. And I just go around the outside and squeeze these off. One of the things you'll notice about hydroponic lettuce is it's loaded with water. Like these leaves are so full of water. Unfortunately, I don't know what variety lettuce this is, but I found that just about any variety will work for hydroponics. One thing I have not had luck with is heading lettuces. I know you can do heading lettuces this way, but my heading lettuce is bolted. It must be too warm down here, even though it's, I don't know. I don't know what the temperature is down here. So this one I cut completely off, and these ones I left some leaves. Now this is an interesting looking lettuce. Let me taste it. It's pretty good. It's got a little bit of bitter to it, which with the dark green leaves I would think would be true. So this particular lettuce, only 2 of the plants survived. That one, all 3 of the plants survived. And that's how much lettuce I got from this. Pretty big bowl. It's quite a bit of lettuce. So I will take some of that to work and share it with the people at work. I have a very small office. While I have this down here, it gives me a good chance to check on the water levels. So I'm going to lift this up. You can see the root system in here. See that? There is probably about that much water in the bottom. So I'm going to add a couple gallons of water or mixture to this, and I'll show you how I do that. So these are the hydroponic chemicals, for lack of a better word, that I use. General Hydroponics. And I put a teaspoon of each of these in a gallon of water. Now I don't have any water down here in my basement, so I just keep a set of cheap plastic. All right, let me grab another one because I want to put 2. Cheap plastic measuring spoons. So I just mix it up and pour it in there. So I put these shims under here because the shelf is not even. It evens out the water level, makes it level. So I'm just gonna move these down. And that should do it. So that should do it for this episode of Sharon's Home and Garden. Thank you so much for watching. To all you new subscribers out there, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And welcome back to all my subscribers that have been with me for a while. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.